An event is a term you give to the probability of something happening, and there are three types of events we should be aware of: mutually exclusive events, independent events, and exhaustive events. Rolling a single dice or tossing a single coin are examples of mutually exclusive events. For example, when we roll a single dice, we can only roll one number, and when we roll that number, all the other numbers are excluded. In other words, by rolling one number, we have mutually excluded other outcomes or events from happening at the same time. The same happens when we toss a coin. If we toss a heads, we have mutually excluded the tails, and if we toss a tails, we have mutually excluded the heads. To calculate mutually exclusive events, we use our formula. The probability of an event happening equals the number of ways the event can happen divided by the total number of outcomes. An independent event is where the outcome of one event is independent of the outcome of other events. For example, say we were rolling 2 dice. The outcome of rolling one dice is not affected by the outcome of rolling the other dice. In other words, the outcomes of rolling the 2 dice are independent of each other. If tossing 2 coins, the outcome of one coin is independent of the outcome of the other coin, and so on. We are going to cover the OR and AND rules in greater detail in the next tutorial, but you should be aware that if we are calculating the probability of 2 or more mutually exclusive events, we use the OR rule and add the probabilities of each event together. If calculating the probability of 2 or more independent events, we use the AND rule and we multiply the probabilities of each event happening. Our third type of event is known as exhaustive events. Exhaustive events are a list of all the events possible. For example, if we roll a dice, the exhaustive events possible are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. If we toss a coin, the exhaustive events possible are either a heads or a tails. Finally, we should mention the two types of probability. The first type of probability is known as theoretical probability, where we calculate the probability of an event happening mathematically, such as when tossing a coin or rolling a dice. The second type of probability is known as experimental probability, where we calculate the probability of an event happening through a series of trials or experiments. The result of experimental probability gives us the relative frequency of the probability of an event happening. For example, say we tossed a coin 100 times and a head showed for 40 times. Then the relative frequency of our experiment would be 40 over 100. Remember, the same probability can also be expressed as a decimal, fraction, or percentage. So there we have it, 3 types of events and 2 types of probabilities we should be aware of. Mutually exclusive events, where we use the OR rule and add the probabilities of each event together. Independent events, where we use the AND rule and multiply the probabilities of each event together. And exhaustive events, which are simply a list of all the events possible. We should also be aware of theoretical probability, where we calculate the probability of an event happening mathematically. And experimental probability, where we calculate the probability of an event happening through a series of trials or experiments, which gives us the relative frequency of the event happening. The next tutorial will take a closer look at using the OR rule with mutually exclusive events and using the AND rule with independent events.